Got Aaron Short coming in. How does the Instagram sound? I've got a little mic plugged in here. All the gear, no idea. Rajan Singh, Lordy, welcome, CEO Journey podcast. Sounds like I should be on it. Aaron Shaw, hello. If you've got any podcasts, by the way, I'll mention it later, actually. I'll make a note of that. Quite happy to do podcasts, as long as they relate to entrepreneurs and small businesses. So we got here. Okay, let's do a quick. That helps me helps it edit. Okay. Well, hello. Takes a while for things to come in, so while it's doing that, I can witter on. Been catching up on the news. Been quite busy this week. So obviously a lot of news, even Christmas parties, what a nightmare. Sort of rail strikes and the like. Post strikes, we're going to be doing some articles about that and how you sort of deal with it in business, because that can be very, very tricky given the fact that the economy is moving to e-commerce, and we kind of rely on the postal system delivery, logistics generally, and when they stop for whatever reason, then it's causing everyone a problem. And no matter how good you are, if you can't get it to your customers, they're not going to be happy, and they're obviously looking for someone to blame in most cases. So that's quite frustrating. Who have we got here? We've got Gary Doherty. Hello, Gary. Welcome. Sophia's joined, the boss. Weird background noise. I'm going to kill this big box here. One sec. Right, Sophia, let me know if that noise goes away. Has that noise gone away, Sophia? A big box here with like editing machine, supercomputer. Words away. Let's close it down properly. Shut that down. Right, Sophia, try now. It's going off now. If not, I don't know what it is. It's just background noise. Could be the mic. Who else have we got joining? Little Jamaica. Welcome, Little Jamaica. Got your message earlier. We'll get back and have a chat about that. Well, the background noise, not much I can do about that, I'm afraid. I'm going to have to pull out this mic. Could just be the mic. It's quite amazing when if you try to make content. So I've got a DSLR camera here, and I've got my phone actually, because you can't link into Instagram via. I use Restream. There's the StreamYard as well. So it's quite interesting the amount of kit you can have plug into a phone. I've got some questions coming through already. Yeah, so this week's been quite an interesting one. So I've been catching up on the news, so the strikes, everything. That's been a bit of a nightmare. That's hard work as well. Yesterday I was in London in Spitalfields Market, and at the business show a few weeks ago, there was an outfit there called Abby's Kitchen, and they were a nice problem to have. They're doing really, really well. They've got like a food truck basically, just halloumi and kebabs. And I have to say, if you're in Spitalfields, literally just as you got Bishopsgate, if you know London, they've got a sort of food truck there, just halloumi and kebabs and things, to die for, I have to say. And they said, "Oh, you should pop by one day." And I think people think that I won't. So I was working with Sky and the Black Equity Organisation. We had a demo day for 20 companies, 20 entrepreneurs who are working with Sky on a program to help, in this case, it's Black founders get into, basically to help them develop their businesses, but also maybe get into Sky supply chain. So I had a demo day, so I was in the area. So I tipped up to his food truck and find the life out of him. And in exchange for some fried halloumi, which I thought was amazing, we made a little sort of TikTok. So if you haven't got our TikTok yet, of all the channels we want to build, and I keep saying my ambition is to get more TikTok followers than Vodafone They've got 1,500. So we've got some way to go. We've got about 600 on Instagram. LinkedIn's doing really well. We're lining up to 1,500. We've got several thousand members on Moblocks now, which is always interesting because you don't technically need to sign to get anything at the moment. Eventually, we are going to lock the content down a little bit so you can read some content, but all of it will be more exclusive for members. But that's great, given that there's no real reason to sign up apart from a lot of people sign up to get my course, which you can get access to. Normally 200 quid. If you haven't signed up yet, sign up and get access to my course. So Abby's Kitchen was great. So we're going to do more of that. We're going to be doing a spotlight series. We've done a few before, where every week we're going to choose somebody who's engaged with Moblocks, somebody who's in part of the community, as posted, and is actually adding some value to the Moblocks community. And we're going to sort of have a little sort of competition and pick somebody, and we're going to spotlight them. So push them, talk to them on our social channels and on Moblocks as well. In our weekly newsletter, which we're launching quite soon. There's always a long queue in our development and our technical team to get stuff done. So we'll be launching that very soon. So that's worth something. If you've got a small business and you've got Moblocks and my good self promoting you, there are lots of very big brands that pay quite a lot of money for that. So Spotlight's going to be interesting. We're also going to be launching, probably the new year now, by the time I get around to it, the business as usual show. So we'll do it more virtually. So we've got a new studio. We had to get out of that building. They've refitted it. So business as usual. That's going to be another piece of content as well. And if you haven't seen Moblocks' website yet, then here it is. So this is the homepage. This is the content homepage here. If you can see that, check you can. Yeah, there's me. That's last week's Q&A. If you missed it, the recent article, Small Business Saturday, we were supporting that. How design thinking help you identify your customers' problems. Did we cover Black Friday? Big one we get asked for, things like accounting, CRM, SEO, digital marketing. I've had some more requests for cyber as well. So more and more content here. I mean, there's a huge amount. You've got different sections. You've got sales, finance, legal, tech news, well-being, people, marketing. And we're seeing some great sort of traffic in terms of people using the website, the amount of time they're spending on the website. So that's really good. And we want to sort of ramp that up clearly. And then the big one, if you don't know this yet, see who else is coming. We've got Capicua. Do I pronounce that correctly? I've still got your balance board. Someone's probably going to get that for Christmas, and then we'll get a video in good time. You also got Little Jamaica, got J Balls, Alex Hughes, Kaz M99, Get Curious with Steve. Interesting, Steve. I'm not sure what your. I'm not going to look at your account. I've got It's Suraj. Quite a few in here. Brendy Turley. CEO podcasts. Hey Piers, could we get you on our podcast, talk about your entrepreneurial journey and Dragon's Den? So just DM us on Moblocks on their Instagram. Send us a bit of information, a bit of stats, a bit about what it is, a bit about you, and we'll come back to you. But I don't mind if you've got a podcast and it's about business entrepreneurship, especially small business, then especially if it's virtual, obviously, then I can set aside some time normally and get on there, and we can do that. So this is the Moblocks website here. So this is the mobile. So again, we were kind of re-engineering mobile here. So this is the first product we've launched. It's flexible 1 month plans. Don't get ripped off buying unlimited plans. The average business user uses 6 gig of data a month, not an unlimited amount of data, not even 10 gig or 15 gig or 20 gig. So no point paying 20, 25 pounds a month for something you just don't use. If you times that, you can halve the price up with Moblocks, times about a couple of phones in your business or your family, you're looking at saving, hundreds of pounds a year. And in business, thousands of pounds a year. And that's what we're here to do. Make it better, cheaper, simpler, and more flexible for you. So Moblocks, we're kind of re-engineering mobile for business. We're B Corp as well. So here you go. And our international call plans are just ridiculously cheap. It's like 2p a minute to call US, Europe, India, lots of other places as well. So go and have a look at that and have a look at our content. So that's what we're spending a lot of time and effort and energy in. What else we got coming in now? So this is a live small business Q&A. There's a clue in the name. I need Q's to give A's. So if you've got any questions, and a lot of people, if I do events quite often, I do Q&A. I quite like doing it wherever I am. And at the end of it, people don't put their hand up. And as I'm walking out, there's a queue at the door asking questions. And I kind of, well, why don't you share it with the group? It's the same here. Often after these Q&As, people DM me and ask me a question. So there's no right or wrong. Don't feel shy in any way whatsoever. You know, I will give you any answer I possibly can about anything you can ask me. And if I can't, I'll tell you, or find someone else that can. So, don't be shy. Ask away. Michelle Morrison said it sounds much better. I'm not sure. You're on LinkedIn, so you're getting the full BBC radio. I've got a big flipping roadcaster thing here, which makes me sound like BBC radio. We've got some questions coming in from the community as well, which is good. I'd love to work with you, Andy Lindley. I'd love to work with you on future live streams, even a tech company to help. I've got more tech that you can shake a stick at. I've got some Rode mics, Shure mics. I've got a Rodecaster sitting here, DSLR cameras, a massive flipping soft light. I've got more kit you can shake a stick at. Now we did have a studio, but we had to get out of that building because of refitting it. So we are going to be creating a studio. But one thing we are going to be looking for, I'm going to put it out there right now, is some young whippersnapper, that's someone that's like out of uni and they want to get into, content and social media, someone who can do, Photoshop, Premiere Pro, they can edit, they're quite creative, the TikToks, they can do short form, any format, and they want to basically own almost think of it as a publisher for small business, and you can actually run with it and create it. And what we need to is industrialize our content output. And so things like this, we need to cut it into snippet. We don't do this yet. We haven't got the time. Cut this into snippets and put it out there on TikTok and brand it properly. And we need someone to join the team. And we're going to be hiring in the new year, someone to do that. So it might be but we're probably going to be full time actually, because it's going to be quite a big job. So if you're young, creative, you know your way around content, you can edit, you can maybe play around with at least, especially Premiere Pro, but perhaps Photoshop or Canva, whatever the hell you want to use. Let us know. Get in touch. Ping me on LinkedIn. Got Nathan Clark. Stream preparations. Join Troy Smith, Stephen. What else been doing this week? So you ask about. I've been playing with AI actually. I don't know if any of you have used the GPT-3. So it's machine learning. So the difference between AI is kind of like a human brain almost. It just understands. It can almost think for itself. Think Terminator. So it can think for itself. Whereas machine learning is where you have a large data set, you feed this software information, and based on that information, it essentially learns. So GPT-3, I was using the chat to have a go at it because you can integrate it into your businesses. So you basically chat with it and you can have a conversation about life, love, the universe, where to get the best chips nearby. Ask it anything. You actually get into a conversation. And by doing that, what you're doing, you're helping it learn how to have conversations. And this is called OpenAI. So it's open source AI. So it means that you can actually, it has APIs, the AI has APIs. So you can plug into these APIs your own software. And you've probably seen lots of these new apps coming up that try and do, what do you call it? They try and write content for you. They're kind of content creators, but it's automated. And it's kind of copywriting, but automated, like Copy AI is one, for example. So it's automated copywriting, and they're all using this AI, this GPT-3 chat, to create content. It's fascinating. Just saying there and say, write me a Christmas poem about my dog, and it will write you a poem. And not always great, but it's not bad. So this AI is becoming, this machine learning especially, is really, really beginning to take off now. And think about it, there's millions of people all over the world inputting data and chatting with these things. It's learning incredibly fast. And so it's really powerful. So if you can think of ways in your business how you can implement and use these things, you can actually plug these very, very powerful solutions into your own software already today. Nathan Clark, Andrew Lindley. Right, let's get into some questions. So let's start with the ones that Sophia sent me here. Question from the Moblox community. So if you haven't joined the community yet, join moblox.com/register. Click on join us. It's free. The community will always be free. So this is quite a long one. If you're trying to put a message on LinkedIn or YouTube, try to keep it short because I can't show it on the screen because it would be too long. I've been reading lots of different topics today and different content community type useful stuff. Questions about optimizing tech, especially in small business in particular. I've been researching CDP and I read my segment of mixed panel platforms. I'll come back to those in a minute, which are also currently learning about? Is there anyone you can recommend to can help these setting up these platforms? So the connections with all data source and destinations are blah, 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 blah. So when if you're building an app or a website, whatever it might be, you might start off very simply. You're building things like Wix, for example, or Squarespace, and these are sort of simple platforms where you can probably have Google Analytics system running in the background. And because the key thing is understanding the data. How do people use your assets, and how do you improve them over time so that people get more value out of them? And they get more value, they're going to spend more time there, or you're going to help yourself things. So an obvious one is your sales funnel. What's the shape of that, and is it effective? Are people converting? So as you start building more complicated assets like your own app, or a proper sort of web-based platform, the Moblocks we built our platform from scratch. There's a huge amount below the waterline. So the two pieces of software that have been mentioned there by Daniel, one's called Segment. So Segment is so we call it create segments. So you think about your website, anything you do is recorded. So we can then go back and say, right, if somebody on Tuesday who lives in, we take data from their profile, the north of England with blonde hair, we know that somehow because we collected that data, and they clicked on this page and bought this product, and posted in our community, almost ask your platform any question almost by using this rules, then do this. So send them an email or send them an offer, or so usually you've got acquisition, activation, and retention. That's what you really want. So acquisition is what it sounds like. It's acquiring people, getting them to visit your asset, your website, your app, whatever it might be. Activation is working out what is it that makes them stay longer, or stay, or come back, or purchase, or optimize your sales funnel. And these applications let you understand that and measure it. So Mixpanel is more a window on your assets. So it allows you to look at funnels and flows, how users use your website, your app, or how they purchase your product, or how they don't, and it allows you to make changes. So they're really, really powerful. We also use Daniel Custom IO. So if you used to use things like MailChimp creates its own database of your emails, basically, whatever you're storing, usually emails. Whereas Custom IO integrates into our own database. So now we have Segment, which lets us measure, record everything that happens, every single action happens on our website forever. We've got a Mixpanel lets us look at and create flows and manage and understand. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So let's understand how people are using our assets. Then we've got Custom IO, which allows us to communicate. So one thing we're going around is, do we need a separate CRM system which collects your customer data, allows you to send them content, and manage them through a sales funnel, or just retain data about them? We also have what's called a headless CMS. So a headless CMS is a content management system that has no sort of front end. We have to build that, which is essentially our website. But when you look at the Roblox website and see our content, we built that. But below that is a system that allows us to manage content. So we can now pull content from that system, send it out using our customer or email communications software based on what Mixpanel's told us, or on looking at what people have done on the website. So it becomes super powerful. And that's what we need to think about. Now, probably all falling asleep listening to that. Now, I've learned this the hard way. I knew Segment before we started Moblocks, did the research myself. The tech team agreed that it was implemented. So you can learn very, very quickly. But if not, like Custom IO, our email's quite basic. You join Moblocks, I'm sure you've seen them, they're okay. But it should be beautiful, like in something you get out of, Boohoo or something, like a beautiful sort of consumer-like email. So we'll get there in the end. But we haven't got expertise. So what we have to do is bring in people who do have the expertise. This is to answer your question now. Whether it's Segment, whether it's Segments owned by Twilio, which is a very large, almost sort of no-code communications platform, especially using things like text messages and calls. You can also build a call center almost, and workflows. So we use that Twilio as well to send out SMSs and notifications. So if you don't understand it, find somebody who can. There are lots of consultants and freelanced out there that really understand this stuff, and from time to time we use them as well. So super powerful capabilities. So this is what Moblocks is about. It's about helping you. I mean, my explanation probably wasn't the best, but It's helping you understand the power of this technology, that this software is out there and it's available to you. And if you're a very small business, it doesn't tend to be that expensive either. It allows you to have to build solutions and understand the data that's coming out of your business and what you do and what you can do with it to be more successful. As the Moblock's about, we want to help you understand that so you can make better purchasing um, technology purchasing decisions. That was a good start, Daniel. Yeah, people start, I don't know about the sound. There's nothing I can do about that. It is what it is from my end. Right, what else we got here? Don't forget, keep the questions coming. Yeah, I mean, I can't do much about the sound really. This is the thing about the Restream LinkedIn API. If it's coming out of it's in my ear. It sounds like BBC Radio. So let me know what you can hear. I've got Natasha Poole here. You can't really turn it off and back on again midstream. Just checking. So I'm using Restream, which I have had issues with. I keep thinking about using StreamYard, but which is a very, very similar piece of software. But it is again, it's that thought of moving over all the graphics and setting it up again. So let me know if it's sounding okay. All right, let me kill the other window. So I'm going to move that source. How does that sound? Does that sound better? Right, so I've removed the second window. Let's see if that actually works. Technology. Right, questions. Get back to them. Nathan Clark. I've got two questions. What do you see as the biggest opportunities in the current market? That's a big question. What do you believe are the key ingredients for successful business growth in 2023? So I'm going to start with the second question. So 2023 is going to be a year of recession. So depending on what you do, you're going to have to take that into account. Doesn't matter what you do, actually. So you might be a discounter where it's flipping make hay while the sun shines, fantastic. But then, if you're going to see your sales growing, you've got to think about your supply chain, given the problems with supply chain, and your cash flow in terms of trading and stock control, etc., etc., etc. Which is great news for those companies. A lot of companies are going to struggle. And so what you have to do is not just stick your head in the sand. And I've been saying this in a number of these live chats, some of the articles I've written, is that don't just stick your head in the sand. Actually think about how it's going to impact you personally, because that can be quite important. In most small businesses, you're getting squeezed as the cost of living goes up. So your income's going down, the cost of living is going up. So how does it impact you personally, especially with a very small business? You can't put a piece of paper between a small business and a business owner at the end of the day. So how does that help? How does that affect you, your finances, even your mental health and your family and the pressures that come with that? Think about that. Think about your customers. How is it going to affect your customers? What can you do to alleviate that? Can you increase your prices because your cost of doing business have gone up? Your input costs have gone up. Cost of goods sold, cost of sales. If you understand accounting, so your margin might be squeezed. So can actually this might sound counterintuitive. Can you put your price up in a recession? So you might end up selling less generally, both because there's less money going around. Secondly, because you put your prices up. But then, even then, you might find that net, if you can reduce some of your other costs in your business, that you actually end up in a similar place. The other thing is 2023 is to, if you have to make difficult decisions, whether that's about people, whether it's about any aspect of your business, make them once, right? And what I've learned is the hard way is that, and it's hard to talk about, but this is business, quite painful. It can be, it can be letting people go. It can be reducing the number of premises you've got. It can be, just reducing anything almost. And that's not what you went into business to do. You want to grow, you want to be successful. But the advice is this: is make those cuts once, right? But make them deeper than you probably thought you had to, because you always think, oh well, I'm going to make these changes, and the wheel's going to go spinning off in all directions, and they don't. So then you kind of make another sort of cut, and then problem is then you, your customers, your stakeholders, your team, they start getting the heebie-jeebies. They get nervous because you keep cutting away. It's best just to go deep and then build back if and when you need to. What you'll find is people step up, and the wheels don't spin off in all directions. Actually, the wheel keeps turning, and that's that. I've heard that a lot of entrepreneurs say that. People are more experienced than I am, but that's my what I've learned the hard way actually. And by not doing that once, by doing it once, it saves you time, money, and blood, sweat, and tears. Some cases, even tears. Um, and the opportunity in the current market. So again, it's kind of linked in a way. You're looking into 18 months of recession. So what can you do in a period like that to actually make money, to generate more money, to keep customers happy, to create value for people, whether it's consumers or businesses? But the big opportunity in the market, really, you can't really, it's too broad, right? But the big opportunity, as I was alluding to earlier about talking about GPT-3 and technology, and the technology that we use at Moblogs is to leverage technology. So what COVID did, it changed things dramatically. The forecast change of 10 years of growth in e-commerce, digital shopping, for example, and we expected it 10 years of growth happened in 18 months. So more and more people now are online. They're used to shopping online, purchasing online, paying for things online of all ages. I mean, we've implemented QR codes, and it's quite interesting that before COVID, no one could actually use a QR code. They were kind of scattered around, and everyone ignored them. Whereas now, even my mum was able to use and understand how to use a QR code. So little things like that is technology is the future. And I don't care what you do, you can be an artisan making beautiful chairs out of wood, whatever. I don't, it doesn't matter. You can be a tech company, you can have an app, a mental health app. I don't care what it is. Any business, all businesses now are going to benefit from technology. And if you're not, and I'm not just trying to sell Moblocks' mantra here, right? Because I started Moblocks because I actually believe in this. So if you're not using technology, you're not embracing technology, you're not automating the mundane, you're not using it in ways that allows you to focus on what you're good at, what you're best at, what you enjoy doing, then you're doing yourself a disservice, and you're not being as efficient, as productive as you should be. One of the big issues in the UK, the reason why I started Moblocks, is small businesses in the UK are not as productive as they should be compared to our competitors in Europe and further afield. And one of the big reasons for that, there are some other structural reasons, access to capital and things, but one of the big reasons for that, if you look at the research, is the low adoption of technology. So we need to embrace technology, understand it, and that will make a difference. So that's a big opportunity in the market. It doesn't matter what you do. Um, and again, in a recessionary period, people are going to be struggling. So there are opportunities. It's about discounting as well, but making things, and not just competing on price. One of the opportunities is going to be building stronger customer relationships through other means. And that might be, I'm a big believer in community and content marketing. That's what Moblox is also built on, if you haven't noticed. So that's quite important. Is can you, through a difficult period for you and your customers, maintain and build a strong relationship? And this goes back to, you've acquired customers, but can you activate them and then retain them, keep them? Because there's the people that are able to keep their customers through the other side. Because recessions, the economy, it's cyclical. I'll get the word out in the end. It's cyclical. So it's all doom and gloom. But on the other side, there will be a period of growth. And you want to be there to benefit from that. And again, make hay while when the sun starts shining again. I hope that was, I can't answer number one really, it's too broad, but I hope that was useful. Right. I love all the technical advice I'm getting, especially from Sophia. Thank you. Right. Any more questions? Let's have a look. Who else have we got? Bendy Turley. Yeah, CEO Journey podcast. Just DM Mobox UK and Sophia will pick it up in the team. We'll have a chat with you. It's Suraj. Hi. Talking about AI. I'll post this on the screen. I'm seeing in real time loads of people losing jobs since machine is now able to replace human workers, saving businesses loads of money. Um, this is quite a big one. So machine learning and AI People say, well, when computers came along, everyone thought that everyone would be out of a job, there'd be no more administration, and all we've done is become more productive, but a lot of people are still working in computers. I mean, just more value out of the assets and resources that exist. So AI is not the same. It's completely different. So on the way, we're seeing more and more use of machine learning. True artificial intelligence could be 5 years away. It could be 50 years away. We just don't know. And that's when machines can actually think for themselves. And it's really, really hard for us to comprehend this, is that when machines can think for themselves, when software can essentially write software, when software machines can design machines, and by that I mean robots or structures or machinery in ways that we just don't understand. Have you ever seen an AI create a chassis, for example, for a Formula One car? It doesn't create those kind of chassis that we think of, which are like straight lines and carbon titanium things all coupled together. It looks like a whale skeleton. It's just not. It looks like this weird, almost. It's by biomimicry. It looks like something in nature that the human brains will never come up with in terms of its structure, its strength, the way it works, its flexibility, the way it's sort of corner and handle is completely different. We can't comprehend that. What machines can. Not only that, humans, Boffin X comes up with a great idea. He has to pass it on to the next generation who come through the education system. It takes a whole generation to kind of move on to evolve in many cases. Whereas with machines, once they've done something, they learn and they continue learning. So you might set a machine some tasks to do overnight, and by the morning it's moved on 10 generations, and it's solving things. It's solving things you didn't even need it to solve. It's solving things you didn't know it needed solving, and that's where it's going to go. So we're moving from a world which is going to be we're used to, which is linear change. So everything grows 10% a year, 5% a year. That's just the way we think. It's linear. It's just what's the angle of change, what's the trajectory, which is why you see growth graphs like that. The kind of lines. Whereas moving into a world of, if they do solve this, it's called general AI, which will eventually into exponential change. And the reason that nation states are obsessed with it and are chasing it, all battling each other in the shadows, is because if one state, let's just say for argument's sake, China, solves a general AI on Monday, and the UK solves it on Wednesday, because of the exponential change, the gap will open up and will never catch up. Within a month, a week, a month, a year, 5 years, 10 years, whoever got there first will be literally light years ahead of the other people. So that's quite a simplistic way of looking at it. It depends how you implement it, but that essentially is what I'm talking about. And that will change the world. So that will change. Going back to answer your question, so I've been witching on a bit today. Going back to answer your question, people often say that machines are coming for forklift truck drivers, Uber drivers. They're coming for people working in warehouses, administration assistants. And let's be honest about it, they are. But they're also coming for lawyers. They're also coming for accountants. What does a lawyer do? A lawyer, takes a large data set, applies logic to it in its most simple form. Obviously, there's some expertise in the way of presenting that, especially if you're a US style lawyer, barrister, you can court. But the basics, a machine can do very, very well. Accounting, adding up, putting things in the right column. I mean, a machine can do that far better than a human. Won't make any mistakes. It can do it 24/7, 365 days a year. So all these professions, this is all of us, have got to move up. What I call it a video on my YouTube channel. You've got to move up the value pyramid. You can't be doing the average thing, the average price, for the average customer, the average way at the bottom. But your lunch is going to be eaten by the Amazons of the world, these large companies, but eventually by artificial intelligence. That's going to do the grunt work. So you've got to add some value at the top. Brain surgeons generally, machines are going to be in robots. They're going to be far better at surgery than humans. They won't get tired. They won't have personal issues. They won't leave swabs inside people, and they can work 365 days a year from anywhere in the world. So you're going to see that if you're a surgeon, you're once this is solved, you've got a problem as well. So the point I'm getting to, many of us aren't going to have jobs. and that's going to change society and the way in which we have to think about how people earn an income. So you might have heard of the idea of universal basic income. This is where the government pays everybody kind of a living wage every year because the vast majority of the population won't be able to work. So that day, I truly think is coming, um, and it's going to change our world. It's going to change the way we relate to each other and the politics, economics, everything. So I don't know if that's where he wanted me to go, but I think that's where it's going. And I don't know if that's 5 years out or 50 years out. So, and I was a trustee of NESA for 6 years, UK's largest innovation foundation. And we did some research on this, and we looked at, well, when I say we, they looked at areas of the UK and the way in which technology, especially AI, could change the labour market. So if you are in, I don't know, you've got an area in the northeast, I'm making it up now, that's very focused on call centres, right? Around Loughborough, for example, that was the case. And actually, AI sort of chatbots built on AI can actually do a better job and integrate the systems and react more quickly. And you're going to find that whole swathes of the UK will no longer be in work because the jobs they used to do in that particular area have gone forever and are never coming back. So unless you retrain or do something about it now, not in 5 years, not in 10 years, not in 20 years, you won't get there in time. So we're going to see dramatic change in terms of the way in which people are employed across the whole of the UK, and we're not prepared for it yet, and we won't be until it happens. It's going to be a real shock to the system. There you go. Well, I can't. That's something I'm involved in now, which I was going to tell you about, but I can't yet. But it's quite exciting about futurology. But I'll come back to that when it's public. Here we go. Ash Nazari, Ash Nazari. I have an AI-based software maintenance tool to bring to the market. I need some support. Where do I get some support? Um, so I guess you mean machine learning rather than AI. Depends on support you want. So there's different types of support you need to build a business. Depends on your background, depends on your network, your social capital, as I keep saying. So the basic support you can get, which is so often people say to me, "Oh, can I have a chat about this or that?" Right? And I can't do that one to one. So people ask me all the time. So I downloaded all of that into my business course. So if you join Moblox, right, you will get another email once you confirm your email, check your spam folders. That gives you free access to my business course, right? This is something I'm actually quite proud of. So if you go onto Moblox or go onto my YouTube channel, you'll see or my LinkedIn, I think it is there as well. You'll see an intro to my course, and it tells you about 76 lessons, 10 and a half hours. It's everything from should I start a business? How do I start a business? To leadership, to management, to even accounting and cash flows and raising finance and hiring people, firing people, leadership, management, you name it, sales, marketing, all in there. So those kind of like cups of coffee you might have with someone like me, in this case, be about 200 of them, is actually built into my business course, right? So it's not something you have to go through from lesson one through 76 to lesson 76. You can dip in when there's an issue that arises where you can't get access to support, someone to talk to about it. You can dip in, listen to me. It's all video, so listen to it as a podcast if you want to. And then if you don't get the answer, what it will give you is a credible starting place, because a lot of stuff on the internet, right, got to be very careful. There's a lot of people trying to sell you courses. I used to sell my course, to be honest with you. Now it's free if you join Moblox. They're trying to sell you something, or they don't know what they're talking about. If you're successful in business, careful what I say here, but I made my course because I was frustrated people weren't getting good advice. So mine's like practical, no nonsense sort of stuff, not ask the universe. But if you're making money, selling courses, right, you probably weren't that successful in the business you started. And now you've found that as we pivoted into pretending you were and selling courses. So be careful about that. Now, if you want help in terms of someone's mentor, that's quite different. You need to find somebody who believes in you, understands what you're trying to do. You don't need to be from the exact sector, but maybe something adjacent that's got similar dynamics, or someone that's more like a life coach, even that can talk to you or understands that process. But the key about mentors is don't take it lightly. Set up a almost a process. Decide and sit down and discuss why you're doing it, what you're both going to get out of it, how often you're going to meet, what the goals are for both of you. 'Cause, the mentor wants to get something out of it as well, and then find that person. Might be family, might be friends, might be former colleagues. You can look online now. It depends where you live in the UK. The various and the mayor. I met the mayor of London recently. They're setting up a mentor course as well. So look for the content that's available out there. Absorb it, but be careful what you content you actually absorb. Make sure it's credible and comes from a decent source, and then seek people that can help you along the way. And the best mentors for someone building or starting a business, this may sound crazy, is somebody who's built and started a business. Because A, they've got the scars, they felt the pain, and B, they're more likely to give you the time of day. So that's my advice on that one. And whether it's an AI-based software maintenance tool or anything else, or you're making, I don't know, hose people's garden rakes, then it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Natasha Poole. Hello, Natasha. Do you have any tips for switching off over the Christmas period? Ugh, I'm useless at this. I've been trying to do this for about 20 years, and there's always some fire that hasn't I haven't quite put out before Christmas. Um, but usually everybody else has turned off, so there's no one for me to talk to, or nobody responds to my email. So sad old little me is sitting there firing off and thinking things, and no one's responding, so I have to switch off. But there comes a point where you have to switch off because it's not just about you; it's about the people around you. If you've got a partner and family and children, it's not actually about you; it's about them. You might not want to switch off. You might not think you can switch off because something's blown up. You might be having if you're a retail, you might have had a nightmare Christmas period or a great one. I don't know. And you need to react to that and get yourself in a position to either, well, you have to be ready in January for whatever's happened in December, especially in retail. A lot of companies are going to come out of December quite happy, but some are going to struggle. So you might need to make changes. That might mean over Christmas you're thinking about it or worrying about it or you're planning. But you've got to at some point down tools and take a break. And if it's not just for you, then being sort of try not to be selfish. It's about the people around you, especially if you've got kids. They want mummy, they want daddy to spend time with them. And even if it's just 1 or 2 days, just switch off. You're going to find that you feel better for it. They feel better for it, and you're in a better place on the other side of doing that. I'm not saying switch off for weeks. It might just be a couple of days, but at some point you do need to switch off. Excuse me. Right. So what else have we got here now? Just scrolling down. It's quite frustrating when you use these applications like software platforms and you've got all the kind of kit streaming, the camera, the audio, and then the other end, it comes out sounding rubbish. It's really quite frustrating. Extreme preparation. It's crazy to see how powerful social media is. Um, Example from seeing yourself on TV and now being able to be on a live and ask questions. Imagine in 10 years how times will change from the present day. Again, it's like a futurology day today, isn't it? So that's right. It is bonkers actually think about it. That I can actually see it when it's flipping working and you can actually hear me. I'm in North London at the moment, but I can be anywhere. I can do this on a phone anywhere and talk to you anywhere in the world. And again, I'm not going to sound like a broken record. That is the power of technology. Is get out there, interact, engage, build a personal brand, build a business brand, engage your customers, listen to them, get feedback. We get a lot of feedback from these sessions, as I do, and just generally from people in the Mailbox community. And we don't ignore it, we actually act upon it. So it's actually really quite important. So do join the Mobots community. It's actually really, really important, and we want you to engage with us. So if you haven't yet, take a moment to follow us on Instagram, follow us on especially TikTok. I've only got 22 followers there. I want to get another 1,500. So we're going to be ramping up TikTok, but Instagram, LinkedIn, follow us. And I think it was last weekend I launched my newsletter on LinkedIn as well. So I was going to do that bi-weekly, but it depends how things go. I might actually write another one tomorrow, send that out. So that's got about 3,500 followers already, which is fantastic. But that shows you that the people want content and credible content, and that might be about you, it might be about your product, it might be about something you understand, something you're expert in that they're not, and you can share it and actually build relationships. And the technology is here to do it, whether it's a podcast, whether it's video. Video is a bit more of a pain in the backside, but in audio, you've got Twitter Spaces now. During lockdown, you had the little Clubhouse, it's a phenomenon, and now you can do it on LinkedIn Live. So many ways you can engage with people. I mean, look at even Instagram now. I've just booted up Instagram, clicked on live, and here we go. We're doing a live chat. Um, Powerful stuff. Now, the secret though is, and I'm getting better at this, is not just about the content, but the consistency. It's about who are you, what content are you putting out, what do you mean to people, and when people engage you or spend time with you, what are they going to get from it? And people, they want to know. People are quite simple. They want to know what you're all about. And if you're all over the place, then it can confuse people and it'd be harder to build an audience. But yeah, it is bonkers actually. I'm gonna unplug Instagram, the mic. So hopefully Instagram. That sounds better. Right. Any more questions? Lawrence Bath, what's been your highlight of 22 with Moblox? Um, it's quite an interesting question that because it's like it's a startup, so you have lots of highlights and lots of lowlights. So people think because you've been on TV, you've done a few things, it's easy. It isn't easy at all. So the you have more experience of execution, so you can move faster normally, and you don't make as many mistakes. But the big achievement for Moblox, one is building a team and standing up the platform, but the big one is Moblox Mobile. So Moblox Mobile is a mobile virtual network operator. So this is think of giffgaff or Tesco Mobile or Virgin, what was Virgin Mobile. Um, that's what they are. So the networks, we're on the UK's number one network, the one the police use, both in terms of speed and coverage. We can't say the name because we compete with that network in terms of its consumer side of it, but you can probably guess who it is. And it's super complicated integrating into a large telco, a national carrier, and then building the billing systems and everything you need under the waterline, and then everything you need above the waterline, the app, the web. And we want to have it so that you can have multi accounts, you can have different payments, you can have your business, your family, all inside the same account. You can add broadband, cyber, business services, all in the same app, all in the same account, like a business shopping basket. Want to build a super app, a one-stop shop for small businesses and entrepreneurs. But we started with mobile because mobile sucks generally. You're being ripped off, being overcharged, and I know this because I used to run and own the UK's largest business to business mobile airtime provider. So I'm not making this up. I know. Yeah, I was looking on Google Ads keywords this morning. It's all unlimited plans. Like, why the hell do you want unlimited plans? You want a box of cornflakes. You don't want a skip load delivered outside your door every week. It's just pointless. So even if it sounds like a good deal, it's money you're spending that you don't need to spend. And especially if you're a business, on business mobile contracts, just because you're getting a VAT invoice, you're getting ripped off even more. It's the same thing. There's no difference, but you're getting charged more because you're a business. Why is that? So we're finding that businesses that this is, you never know until you launch these things. We built it for very small, one man bands really, or one lady bands. And we're finding that businesses, 5 to 10 employees that have got, that many phones that are saving up to £3,000 a year, which is a significant amount of money for anybody. I don't care. These businesses have got, £1 to £2 million of revenue, and that's material. We've also been working with charities and saving them money. So Moblox Mobile is a major achievement. It'll be the most complicated thing we ever build. We're not even nowhere near finished with it yet. There's lots of things we want to launch, but this is the most complicated service we will launch in terms of integration. We built it from scratch, so that means we have complete control over it. And I've got a brand. Moblox has got a nascent brand, but we want to build that and create the number one network for business owners in the UK, small business owners. If you're a very large corporate, that's fine. You can go to the big networks. But if you're a small business owner, an entrepreneur, a founder, I call them owner-led businesses. There's a clue in the name. Moblox is going to be for you, and not just about price, not just about mobile, not just about the fact we've got super ridiculously cheap international phone calls. This is actually going to be about the content, support, the guidance, the community, everything else that comes with it, and that's what I'm the proudest of. It's been a journey, and we're still not quite there yet. Still a lot of work to do. So I'm actually at raising finance now for the next stage of Moblox, which is always an interesting experience. Looking here, just going back up the list now. Gary Doherty, Piers, would you come on my success mindset show, 30 minutes? Again, send us some details or DM us on Moblox UK on Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever it might be. We'll have a look at it. I tend to do them if they're focused on small businesses, entrepreneurs, not just anything. Otherwise, that's all I'd ever do. So just send us some information. And we'll take a look at that. All right, let's have a look. Interesting point here that extreme preparation is made as well is that technology keeps getting better and better. That is true. The only thing about technology is that you don't use technology for technology's sake. A lot of people say to me, "I want to build an app." I'm like, well, "What do you mean? You want to start a business?" "Yeah, I want to build an app." "Right. So what's the app going to do?" "Oh, right, like B2C app." Like, well, right, okay. Who's the customer and what problems are going to solve for them? Why is it going to improve their lives or save them money or do something better, cheaper, simpler? What? Yeah, I'm working on that. I'm like, well, what are you talking about? That's not how it works. The technology allows you to implement, make these things happen. You can't just will them into existence, a business, because you happen to be able to write some code or find a developer. You've got to have an idea and you've got to prototype it or try it really simply on PowerPoint or clickable prototypes, no matter or no code where you can just build these things simplistically without having to write any code whatsoever. And then once you've tested that, only then you start thinking about building an app or a website. So technology is don't just use technology for technology's sake. Make sure you understand what your requirements are, what the purpose is, and then that allows you to implement the best technology. The worst thing you can do is not really know why you need it, but someone's told you have, and you make some decision because your dad's told you, or your mate, or your accountant, which is use a lot of small companies actually choose software, believe it or not, and then you implement it and you go, well, actually, this is not doing what I wanted it to. It's not really working. I'm not getting the value out of it. I'm paying X a month and I'm not seeing a return on that. That's why what you need to do is work out what are your requirements, and even if it's quite simplistically, just write them down. And then when you're looking at applications and making decisions about technology, you can make decisions based on what your requirements are, not what someone's told you, because they're making up assumptions about what they think they might be. Or Jamaica, the future marketing of social media. So it's partly social media. So I agree with you, but I think depends on your business, obviously. But I'm a big believer in that, and that you've been doing this well, Little Jamaica, as well. It's about the content and the content marketing, but it's about the community almost as well. About this building a community around your product, because then what you then have are fans, and when you think about acquiring customers, activating them and retaining them. If they are engaged with and bought into your business, because they want. That's why people like. That's why small businesses have the edge these days. You can build a brand around you and your business. Where the big players, they can't do that. No one cares really about the big brands or the big corporates. They're there because they've been there for hundreds of years. But you're going to find the next generation isn't interested in them. They're more interested in understanding who's behind the business and what makes them tick, and are they walking the walk and not just talking the talk like the large companies. And I think what they might call social first or community is really important. But I totally agree with you. Well, I think content is important, is the secret sauce. How you distribute that content may well be social media. That's why social media is quite an important distribution platform. But social media in itself depends. It's more the content you're putting out over it. And also building Moblocks, important, really important point in this. And I learned building Moblocks. This is through the guys that built the gift gaff community, and they run the Airbnb community globally. Is that it's great having people followers on Instagram and having followers on LinkedIn and Facebook and TikTok. Don't forget to follow us on TikTok. I've said that. Great to have these people on these platforms, but until they're in your community and it's your platform, you don't own that community. The people that own those platforms can tweak an algorithm. I mean, on LinkedIn, great platform, but you can't actually contact your followers en masse, and because that's how they make money. Through emails, that's how they monetize it. So you don't own your community, your social reach, until you move it onto your platform. That isn't always easy to do, but it's definitely worth trying. Right, and we're getting towards the end here. 3 minutes left. Any more questions on Instagram? There's always one, isn't there? Brendy Turley. Piers, what is your view on the long term? What is your view on long-term view of crypto? There's always a crypto question, isn't there? So I was very interested in this one quickly, and boy, everyone else to death with crypto, but I was very interested in sort of the smart contract platforms and DeFi basically. So DeFi turned out not to be decentralized as people might want it to be. And if you don't know, there's been a bit of a blow up of one of it was the third largest trading platform, FTX, recently, which was a complete and utter basket case. If you ever worked in finance, and I was an investment banker, I was a lawyer, and I used to be the CEO of an FSA, what was then the FSA regulated corporate finance business, is that you look at FTX and it's just an absolute shower, terrible, awful. And that's the problem with the unregulated. You might want to be decentralized and unregulated. If you want to be unregulated, expect to be living in the Wild West for the foreseeable future, if not forever. So crypto needs to be regulated. It needs to give people confidence. You need people to have governance. The fact that Sequoia threw 200 million at this while the guy was playing some video game badly, I hasten to add. Just makes no sense when you've got founders running around to try and raise, £1 million in, £1 million there. It's just quite disgusting, actually. It really annoys me. But and they've already returned 5 billion to the shareholders and to the investors on that fund, so they don't really care. They're in the money, but it just smells bad. So I think crypto is like anything else. Anything you're looking at, it's got to look at the utility. Does it have a purpose? Does it add value to someone's life? So you might have Ethereum and Bitcoin slightly different in a sort of a store of wealth, but a lot of other things, that the coins, the platforms, what is their utility? Just approach it like a business. How is it going to make money? How is it going to add value to someone's life or to another business's bottom line? And if you can't see that, then I'll tell you right now, it won't be successful. However, if you zoom out, when the use cases do settle down and they are clear, you won't know it's crypto. You won't know it's blockchain. That's the technology we're talking about here. You won't know it's there. Things will just work. They'll happen. You'll have trust. You'll have oracles that work that can connect blockchains to the outside world. It's like no one knows how a microwave works. No one cares, and that's what it's going to be. Right now, people have made a lot of money out of it due to these sort of bull markets, and everyone wants to be one of those people. And so, human greed is is drives, has driven, boom and bust since on tulips, the East India Company. You can go on forever. There's all sorts of weird and wonderful things throughout history where there's been a boom and a bust because people want to get rich quick. So the long term for blockchain technology or something that it evolves into is definitely rosy. It's just making sure that you're investing in things that have utility, just like you're investing in a business. If you're investing in some stupid coin, hoping that it increases in value based on what someone tweets, you may get lucky, but that's not investment. So I'm a big fan of it, quite into it. Now is probably the time to buy. There's blood on the streets, buy. Um, but it's got a long way to go. That was the crypto question for today. All right, I think we're getting to the end now. We've done an hour. I'll try and keep this to an hour. I know you're busy. So once again, Charles Norton Business, are you going to get me onto your podcast or what? Have you reached out? You see the chap that I met on the M1 or M6, was it a while ago? Reach out. Let's get it sorted. Let's get it in the diary. So do join them if you haven't joined Moblocks yet. I do these things because it's my time. It's free. Hopefully you get some value out of it. But I want you to join Moblocks, and ideally, I want you to move your mobile phone contract SIM only to Moblocks Mobile as well. Because if you're in business, we're better, we're cheaper, and we're more flexible. And by cheaper, I don't mean we don't do unlimited, right? We do up to like 30 gig, but no one uses more than that. The average person uses less than 10, so don't pay for more than that. You're just being ripped off. And please follow us on social media, especially TikTok. That's a new one. And once again, I thank you for joining me. Hello. I've been joined here by a very important member of the team. This is Luna. Hello, Luna. Just hasn't got a question, just wants some food probably. Thank you for joining me. And again, same time, probably not the same place next week. And have a